using the corner on left corner, lower corner, to turn on the microphone. Oh, yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. My pleasure. I am on time. Perfect.
Thank you.
So, what is the power of hyaluronic acid? What you have to know. Please, no photo, please.
Of course.
Myomodulation and hyaluronic acid. We can call this, oh, wait 1 second. Okay. We can call this as a regulation of muscle activity and muscle dynamic. And you have two ways, stimulation or calming down, pacifying. So I'm going to divide my talk in 3 points, what I have learned, what I have seen in my practice, and what I conclude my concept. What I have learned. First, we know, and you know, fillers fill and botulinum toxin relax. You can see an example of filling and one example of botulinum toxin. But the question today, do fillers have a function in myorelaxation? Can we switch from fillers and botulinum toxin? And we call this myomodulation. You know this second point, sarcomere, you know, etc., etc. When it's too elongated, you have no contact between the myosin and actin. And when it's the sarcomere contracts too much, we have too much contact and we can go more. But what is important to understand is this active tension versus length of muscle. It's a parabola. And we know that the active tension is maximum or optimum for a muscle length around 110% of its length at rest. It's like this. When length decrease or increase, we have less tension. So this is very important to understand. So it's in French, but you understand French, I don't know. For a muscle to have a good expression, we have to keep this between 100 and 110. This is what I have learned, but what I have seen in my practice. That was 15 years ago.
What is needed for us to learn about filler injection now, especially as far as our facial muscle function is concerned? I think about the myomodulatory effect when injecting. The functional change both in static, in animation, and the muscle balance. And use smart muscle. What I mean smart muscle, I mean functional muscle, where they are resilient to repeated compression and searing force. When you inject into the deep layer, and that filler should and will sustain repeated compression force. And that muscle, that filler should be hard and also cohesive. When you inject into the superficial layer, the layer that filler should be resistant to more shearing force. It should be more coherent, cohesive. At the same time, it has lower viscosity, easy to inject, and most important, with good tissue integration. That's why I call it smart fillers. And the important thing is not everyone needs filler, and not every issue can be solved by filler. Inject fillers before toxin. I always do it nowadays. Okay, in the good old days, I try to relax the chin muscle before I inject into the fillers. And nowadays, I can tell you, in my Asian patients with severe retreating chin, I do not need toxin to relax their mentalis muscle. And of course, I will separate the sections into 2 or 3 sections by fillers. So this is my message.
You are not behind the muscle. In this part, in the lateral part, when you inject here, yes. When you inject here, yes, but not in this part. You are in the muscle. So if you are under the muscle, you stimulate the lower part of the orbicularis oculi. But when you inject more laterally, laterally, you are in the muscle, so you pacify, you relax it. You understand? That's why you have this change, not with the explanation of Dr. O. Also, now, everywhere you inject, you are in the muscle. Only two parts. When you are in the orbicularis oculi, and we are in the mentum, in the gnation, we call this gnation in French, mentum. So in this part, you are under the mentalis. And if you follow the Mayo, etc., normally you have a stimulation. No, you have a pacifying because you shorten the muscle. Because it's like this, and you like this. And because the contra pressure of the skin, you shorten it. This concept works everywhere. When you inject very superficially to it, you have no pacifying. When you are inside the muscle, here you are inside the muscle, here you are inside the muscle, here you are inside the muscle. In the orbicularis oris, you are inside the muscle. In the depressor septinazi, you are inside the muscle. In the levator labis superioris, you are inside the muscle. You are not above. If you inject very superficially for the nasolabial fold, you have no effect. And always